Okay, I already did. Okay. So let's continue. Please don't be frightened because once it is 9:30, I'm going to uh, finish and to bring the session to an end, and we can continue later. Okay, and I will give you 10 or 15 minutes for discussion if you have any questions to explore further. Okay, so a noun actually, or traditionally speaking, is the name of anything. Can you see the slide? Can you see the slide?
No.
Sorry.
Not yet.
Okay. And now? Can you see the slide now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, traditionally speaking, a noun is the name of anything. Could be a man, country, Spain, Paris, happiness, Henry, etc. Okay. Now, nouns are classified into two parts, concrete and abstract. And concrete are nouns which can be touched, which you can experience, which you can see with your own eyes, like man, country, John, team. While abstract are nouns that are the names of qualities, states, or activities. So usually they are things which are not tangible. You cannot touch them with your hand, like poverty, death, beauty. But we can experience poverty. We experience death. We can decide that this is beautiful and this is ugly, etc. Okay. Um, Concrete nouns can be classified further into two further nouns. Common nouns like man, country, city, they can be applied to any man, right? They can be applied to any man. So if I said that this is a pen, so the word pen can be used in any other context. Any country, this is a country. This is a city, it could be any city. They are names that all men, countries, cities share in common. So the word city could be applied to Riyadh, could be applied to Beirut, to Lebanon, to Syria, to Tunisia, etc. It is a city or it is a country. That's why it is called a common noun. The second type is a proper nouns, or what we call in Arabic asma al-alam, like Henry, Said, Spain, Yorkshire, Riyadh, Muscat, are not names that can be applied to any man or to any country or to any county or to any city. They are names of a particular man whose name is Henry, to a particular country whose name is Syria, to a particular county, to a particular city, etc. Okay? So this is the difference between common nouns and the proper nouns. So proper nouns are names of unique things. Okay, could be countries, but it is not the word country itself. It is the United States of America. It's France. It is England, but it is not the word country. Okay? Common nouns are either count or countable or non-count or uncountable or mass nouns. And I assume that all of you know this very well. Count nouns have both a singular and plural form, and they can be introduced by determiners that accompany distinctions in number. So we talked about determiners like a and the, and they are all are called pre-modifiers. So determiners are pre-modifiers because they precede the noun they are modifying or describing. Okay, have a look here, please. So this is an example of a count noun in the singular, because we mentioned that it can be a singular, and these are all determiners, as you see. And it can be plural, as you see, this is the S of plurality. And it can be preceded also by different determiners here, as you see. We have numerals and we have other pre-modifiers. Clear? While in non-count nouns, you cannot use all these cannot be used before non-count nouns. Okay? Non-count nouns indicate entities that are viewed as uncountable. They are singular in form, so you cannot use, and are treated as singular for subject-verb agreement. So if we said, for example, the word, they are introduced by a restricted set of determiners. So let's see. Many concrete nouns that are normally non-count can be treated as count nouns in two uses. So on two occasions, we can use concrete nouns, which are considered to be mostly as non-count nouns. We can use them as count nouns. When the noun refers to different kinds or qualities, like I don't like sparkling waters all that much, then you are making here a generalization about all types of water which are considered to be sparkling. We bought Italian cheeses. It means many different types of cheeses. Okay? Fresh pasta and olives. And when the noun refers to quantities in a situation where the units are obvious. So here we have units of measurement, like 1 sugar only, please. It means we are sitting together and we are drinking coffee or tea and we are talking about 1 cube of sugar. I'll have 2 coffees. It means we are sitting at a restaurant and we have already ordered 2 cups of coffee. In these contexts of situation, we can use them in plural form. But apart from that, we cannot. And I don't think that most probably you came across such information, because usually they in the books they mentioned it conclusively that non-count nouns are never preceded by, or they cannot be used as count nouns. Okay? Proper nouns. Proper nouns. Of course, okay, let me continue. Proper nouns, they have unique reference, and in writing, they begin with a capital letter. In writing, they start with a capital letter, like Bill Clinton, Abha, Christmas, December. All these are proper nouns. So one indication that this is a proper noun is that it is capitalized. Names may consist of a combination of a proper noun with other words, which could be adjectives, common nouns, prepositional phrases, and it is usual for the initial letters of each opening class word, and we talked about opening class word last time, which we mentioned nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, in the name to be written in capitals, and also the definite article the, if it is part of the name. Let's have a look here. For example, the Hague. Here the is capitalized because it is part of Hague. Hague هي لاهاي مقر محكمة العدل الدولية. IJC, International Court of Justice. Lake Michigan, Great Britain. Okay, so as you see, the word yard here is a noun, adjective, right? So because they are part of the name, then they are capitalized. Closed class words such as the definite article, when not part of the name, and the prepositions are generally in lowercase. Like the Pacific, the University of Michigan, the United States of America, the Kingdom, or the King of Belgium. Proper names are non-count. They have no contrast in number. So usually, they are not used as count nouns. Generally, they have only a singular form, but some place names have only a plural form. So it depends on the origin of the name itself. Like, for example, the Netherlands, you cannot say the Netherland without S in reference to Holland, Hollander. Or the Bahamas, the Andes, سلسلة جبال Andes, the Alps, the United Nations, the British Isles, all these have the S as part of the name itself, and they are never used in singular. Proper names are treated as common nouns when they do not have unique references, though they retain capitals in writing. They can then be in the plural and take determiners that are often confined to count nouns. Have a look here. I bet it's busy on Sundays. It means all days which are Sundays, that person is going to be busy. So here it is pluralized. It's okay. I have got a lot of Khalids in my class. I have a lot of students whose names are Khalid in my class. In these cases, it's possible to pluralize proper nouns. A typical noun has both singular and plural forms. Teachers, dinners, as we mentioned, it is the S of plurality, buildings. And here are some typical noun endings. So here we have what we call suffixes or inflections, which are used at the end of words, and they are indicative of the fact that these are nouns. Have a look. Clear? So as you see, here, all these suffixes are indicative of the fact that any word which ends with these is considered to be a noun. Okay? Clear? Okay, that's fine. Now we have irregular plurals. Before moving here, please let me tell you something very important. We were talking about non-count nouns, right? Like, for example, sugar. We know that it is a non-count, right? Or uncountable or mass noun. And usually it must be for a singular verb, right? Right? Now, in certain cases, we can achieve countability. We can change the case of nouns from being non-count to being count nouns, okay? Especially concrete nouns through, this is important, what we call partitive expressions. We call it partitive expressions or partitives, according to Hassan and Halliday, 1976. Okay? Right. What are partitive expressions? We said that, for example, sugar, we always say sugar is. For example, sugar is sweet. Okay? But if I want, we can say 2 cubes or lumps of sugar are. Here, we changed the non-count noun into count by using cubes and lumps. So these are called partitives. Okay, these are called partitives. The same as, for example, bread. We know bread is non-count, but we can make it count noun by saying, for example, 5 loaves of. So loaf here is partitive or partitive expression. Here, or piece of, or bits of, etc. Okay, so these are called partitive expressions. Here, again, information, and it is non-count, but we can make it by saying, for example, 6 pieces of information in this are useful, for example, or 7 or 8 pieces of evidence are provided, for example. Okay, so all these are considered to be, they are, for example, slices of bread or slices of cheese, cake, meat, etc. Clear? Okay. Of course, sometimes certain participles tend to go with certain non-count nouns. Okay, so we have to say, for example, a lump of coal, فحم. We cannot say, for example, a bit of, for example. So this is not correct here. That's why we say, that lump collocates as a partitive expression with coal. Okay? Clear? Or for example, we say bar, for example, 3 bars of chocolate. Again, this is partitive which always comes with chocolate. Okay? Of course, chocolate or gold, شذرات من الذهب. Okay? Or soap. Okay? 4 glasses of water. We know that water alone is not count now, but we say a glass of water or soda, etc. 5 cups of tea or coffee. إلى آخره. So all these are called participles. Okay? Clear? Of course, we can use measurements. Okay? We can use measurements like, for example, kilo, pounds, etc. Okay? 3 kilos of sugar or of rice. It's fine. Okay? And there is something very interesting actually. Some nouns can be used as both count and non-count, but with a difference of meaning. For example, this glass, or to make it, these glasses are made of glass. This one is countable, right? And here it means كأس, right? This is countable. And this one is non-count. هي المادة نفسها, the substance من الزجاج. Okay? It refers to the substance itself. Here, I threw a stone on the wall made of stone. Another example. Here, this is count, بمعنى حجر, حجرة أو صخرة. Right? While this one هي المادة نفسها. طابوق or whatever. So it is non-count. Here. Okay? These coppers are made of copper. The first one, of course, is count, and it means here count, and it means coins. فئات نقدية من المعدن. And here copper is the substance, نحاس. Okay? Here?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay, great. That's great. Okay, so let's continue. Okay. Okay, so plurals, irregular plurals. Um, it's very important because English has plenty of these plurals. Let me first talk about, um, okay, actually, as I said, I always have a flood of ideas invading my mind while explaining what I have in front of me. So, okay, so some nouns ending in F or FE form their plurals by changing the ending to VES. To VES. Like what? Have a look here, please. You see, we have a lot of these in English. However, we have another irregular plurals like what we call a mutation or umlaut. And here the plural is formed by mutation or a change in the vowel. Man, men, woman, women, tooth, teeth, foot, feet, goose, geese, mouse, mice, louse, lice. These plurals have undergone what we call umlaut. Is this always the case for mutations? Do we always say that the plural of louse is lice and the plural of mouse is mice? Actually, yes. Do you have any idea? Yes? Do you have any idea about this? Okay, let me save you time. Actually, it is not always the case. It is not always the case. We said that mouse as singular is pluralized as mice, right? And louse as lice, right? This is correct. Okay. However, we should say mouses and we should say louses. Why? Pay attention, please. This is extremely important. Okay, this is extremely important. If they are used in a derived sense. What is meant by derived sense? If you use it in reference to humans, for example. For example, John is a mouse. These men are mouses. We don't say mice. Why? Because they are used, the word mouse has been used in a derived sense. It is not referring to the small animal, to the small rodent. قوارب بيسموها rodents, right? So here it has been used to refer to men because this is a sign that they are not brave. They are cowards. Okay? In this case, we don't use mice. The same with lice. Also, the mouse that we use for the computer is also pluralized as mouses. Clear? Okay?
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Okay. Um, في شغلة كمان مهمة. We know, for example, that the word lady, what is the plural of lady? Lady. How do we write
Ladies.
it? L-A-D. We change
IES.
the Y into I and then we add ES, right? This rule, this rule shatters when هذه القاعدة تتحطم. قال لك when it applies to proper nouns. يعني لو عندنا Mary, I've got a lot of Marys in my class. We just add S. We don't change the Y into I and we add ES. Okay? Clear? Okay?
Yes.
Right. Um, Now, we know that, for example, the word potato, tomato, etc. When we try to have plural of them, we add es. Is that correct? That is correct. However, we have a variation is found in some words which accept both forms. For example, we can say cargo and cargoes with O, S, and ES. Both are fine. That's why we say this is a variation. This is a variation. Okay, both are accepted. The same as motto. You can say mottos and with S and ES. Okay, here also volcano. Both are fine with ES and with S. Both are fine. So we say that we have a variation. This variation is
Doctor,
also found. Yes, please.
also Turando.
Yes, that's fine. Yes, Turendo. Yes. Okay. So again, we were talking about the fact that so tornado is one of these as well. Okay, can add it here. Both are fine. Okay, and this variation can be found also in words ending with f or fe. Both forms are fine. Like for example, dwarfs, some or dwarves. Both are fine. Okay, here, like for example, hand kerchiefs and with VES. Both are fine. Scarf, scarves, and scarves. Both are correct. Okay? Hoof, wharf, etc. Both are correct with S and VES. Okay? Clear? Any question up to this point? طيب. Right. Okay. طيب. We've already run out of time. Okay. Um, I wanted to say something, but I don't think that time will allow me to, and I don't want you to stand with your arms akimbo and you are angry with me. Okay, so I'll stop here. I'll stop here, and I will give you time for discussion. If you have any questions, I will be more than happy to try to answer you. Yes, please. Yes, now the floor is yours. If you have any question, please.
Yes,
Um,
I have one.
yes, please.
The subject family regarding to the rule of subject verb agreement. Is it a singular or plural family?
Again, please. What is your question? Again, please.
The word family, if it
Family.
comes
Yes.
as a subject, is it
Yes.
singular or plural regarding the rule
Grammatic.
of subject verb agreement?
Great. Both are correct because this is a collective noun. This is a group noun. This is a group or collective noun. So both are fine. So you can say the family are happy, and this is British English, or you can say the family is happy, and this is American English. But if you want to know why the British use are and why the Americans use is, there is a reason actually behind that. Actually, when they are used as plural, then they are thought, the family is thought of as individuals, as people comprising this group, while the Americans look at this group or this noun as one whole unit. Okay, this is the reason why those use are and the others use is. Hope your questions is answered now.
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Yes. Any other question, please? Yes. Yes, please.
Doctor,
Yes.
do you remember when we translated the exclamative sentence in غرناطة?
Yes.
Can we apply the rule that you said just and say it just as how pleasure without the rest of the sentence?
No, you cannot. You cannot say how a pleasure or how pleasure. Right? Why? Because we still have a lot of meaningful words missing from the original text. Okay?
Okay, yes, thank you.
So we cannot use it because you are translating and you are um, uh, you should adhere to the original text. And in saying how pleasure, you missed the original text. Okay? Yes, please. Any other question?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, please.
Doctor, there is a question in chat room.
Okay. Let me see the chat room because I only can see the page that you can see with me. Right. What's the difference between few and a few? Okay, good question by Miss Abir. I think this name is familiar to me. Probably she was one of my students. Anyway, now these few and a few. Can I insert? Can I draw a table, please? Count, non-count. Okay. 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 For count nouns, we use a few and a few with, of course, plural noun. Okay. Here we use much. Here we use little and a little. Okay. Thus, non-count noun. This is for scarcity. للتعبير عن القلة. Okay. And to express multitude, الكثرة, we use here many plus plural noun, and here we use much plus non-count اللي هو دايما راح يكون singular أصلا, right? But the difference between few and a few. So first we understood now that we are talking about count nouns. So what is difference between I have a few friends, the students have few questions. These are two different sentences. In the first one, it means عدد قليل. عدد قليل. But when you use few without a, it has negative meaning. It is similar to being a negative question or a negative sentence. Okay? So the students have a few questions. It means nobody is going to ask you any question. That person is lonely. شوف هذا السؤال كيف بيجي. That person is lonely. انتبهوا معي. He has few or a few friends. شو رأيكم? What do you think?
View.
few few لأنه ليش؟ Because it is lonely. واضح؟ It always has the meaning of negative statement, the same as being in the negative, the same as saying he doesn't have any friends, but it is used to show a bit more polite expressions. Okay. For example, we need little expertise from you. شو معنى الكلام؟ لست بحاجة لأي خبرة منك. Clear? Using little. But a little I need, but to a very small extent. You see the difference? You see the difference? Okay?
Yes, clear.
طيب. Let's suppose we are drinking tea together and you ask me, do you want sugar? I need little sugar. شو معنى هالكلام؟ Is it okay that you are going then to stretch your hand and give me some cubes of sugar? Of course not. Otherwise, you don't know good English and correct English. Clear? So it has the same meaning as negative. واضح؟ Clear؟ ماشي يا عبير؟ طيب في أي أسئلة ثانية؟ يا جماعة اللي بده يمشي I'm not going to keep anybody. Those who would like to leave, please feel free to. But I will stay for some time to answer questions only. I stopped, as you see, just to keep my promise of giving just 2 hours. And I'm trying to keep my word. Naveen says we have nouns in English with the same singular and plural for form, such as poultry, agenda, craft hair, right? They're now singular in form, but plural in use, such as cattle, police, clergy. Okay, what about nouns plural in form, but singular in use? Can you give me examples? I can't remember one like news. Okay, news, information, all these can be considered to be as examples talking about that. Actually, okay. We have much has been said about what Naveen has raised here. Let me take this here and see what she said. Okay, now actually the word agenda and the word media is used with singular verbs. So we say our agenda for today's meeting is about X and Y. Poultry, we have 4 or 5 words in English which are always used in plural. Okay? Clear? So poultry is always used for plural. So poultry, cattle, livestock, clergy, police, people, public. هذا اللي بنذكره هلا. هاي الأسماء always with plural verb. Always with plural verb. So we say the livestock are, the clergy are, the police are, the people are, the public are. وفي كلمة شوي غريبة يمكن أول مرة تسمعوها. The vermin are. vermin هي الحيوانات الضارة. الفئران، الجرذان، الغراب، الأفاعي. Everything that would harm crops or plants of a farmer. All these are used with plural verbs all the time. Okay? Clear? With news, we can have also information. Clear? We have 2-part articles. الأشياء المكونة من قسمين like shorts, jeans, trousers, briefs. All these are always with plural verb. My glasses, binoculars, phones, etc. Always with plural verbs. Okay? Hope I answered your question, Ms. Niveen. Mathematics and physics, this S comes from Greek. Okay? This comes from Greek. And it refers to science. So this S of science, and it is not S of plural. So we say mathematics or physics is. Interesting. I'm not sure if it is really, if it really is. Okay, so we say is. Interesting. Okay? Clear? Okay. What else? Any other question? Any other question? Let me see the chat room. Yes. In the following question, grammatically correct. Can I know exactly what the advantages were? Advantages for what, ya Stream? Yes. Using few is like using any. Okay. زينة. سوري يا زين، خط صغير. طيب. هاي نكبر. I always say that writing on the word is nice, free, vision test for free. Okay. Yes. Any other questions? The form. It doesn't much of a well, the last expression you use, I think it doesn't. Okay. Okay. To stand with your arm akimbo. يعني بالسوري يتخصور، يضع يده على خصره. To show wrath or anger or that somebody is furious. Okay. طيب. What else? What else? What else? ريم. Grammatically correct, it means it is not wrong. You can accept either. Both are fine. Okay, but we try to dive a bit into language to show the difference between different forms. Okay. What else? What else? Any other questions? How can differentiate between participle and gerund? Okay. Participle, present participle, is usually used, present participle or past participle. Okay, participles are usually used for forming past or present continuous. Okay, for example, he was teaching us. This teaching is participle. Okay. However, I enjoyed teaching you. Teaching here is gerund. So it is the word which ends in ing, that's correct, but it doesn't form any tense. Okay, it comes after certain verbs, like I'm going swimming tomorrow. It's a gerund. Okay, clear? Okay, any other question? Any other questions? Yes. خير يا نيفين. Any other question? Okay. Okay. No questions? Sure. Last time you complained that the mics were off. Today they are on. They worked, but nobody asked. Okay. Can I have just 5 minutes for a short story so that it paves the way for next class? Yes. And it is an interesting story that I'm sure you've never heard of before.
Yes,
we know
of
that
course.
we know that today's English, well, I dare not open the chat room to see knows flooding from you, so I'm going to act on the last yes I heard from your colleague. Anyway, we know that today's English is a descendant. Okay, it is a grandchildren or a grandchild of what we knew as Old English, which was called Anglo-Saxon. It was a language, right, which was used in the 7th century. In Anglo-Saxon, there were 5 possible endings, or what we know technically as inflections, okay, to denote plural nouns. هذه قصة حقيقية وما بتعرفوها عشان تعرفوا ليش وصلنا اللي وصلنا له اليوم بموضوع الاس. Okay, so in Anglo-Saxon, which is Old English, there were 5 possible inflections to denote plural nouns, اللي هي اكتبوا معي AS، يعني كلمة تنتهي بالAS، كلمة تنتهي بالAN، كلمة تنتهي بالU، كلمة تنتهي بالA، كلمة تنتهي بالO. These are the 5 inflections which used to be used in Old English or in Anglo-Saxon to refer to plural nouns. Okay? In addition to that, we had some neuter words or some neuter nouns. It means the same form is used for singular and plural. وهذا ما يفسر وجود اليوم، لليوم عندنا كلمة دير، وعندنا كلمة sheep، وعندنا كلمة كود إلى آخره. ما تزال لليوم محافظة على هذا، يعني هذا السبب اللي لليوم هذه الكلمات تعامل معاملة مفرد وجمع. 1 sheep، 400 sheep. We don't say sheeps. This is wrong. The same 1 deer and 400 deer without s. Clear? So this its roots run deep in Anglo-Saxon. Now by about the year 1 or 1400، تقرأ 1400 عام 1400 للميلاد AD. دائما العام 1400 مرتبط بتغيير اللغات نسبة لتشوسر، هو اللي حول اللغة من Old English إلى Middle English. أوكي؟ من خلال كتابته لكتاب Canterbury Tales. Okay? This S, okay? Clear? The 5 endings في حلول هذا العام، the 5 endings حكينا عنهم فوق. Okay? انتبهوا معي. With 1 or 2 exceptions، باستثناء أو 2 فقط. Okay? Had been reduced to فقط ES and S. Here واضح؟ إذن هذه اللواحق اختزلت، لم يتبقى منها بحلول عام 1400 إلا الES والS التي نراها اليوم، وهذه مأخوذة من شو؟ الAS اللي كانت في الأنجلو ساكسون. Okay? Correct? You understand? The 1 or 2 exceptions is like, for example, when we say ox. When we say ox, it is, until today, it is oxen. Right? Right? Which is one alteration from AN of the Anglo-Saxon. بالمناسبة في كثير من الأمريكان بيكتبوها oxes. They don't write it as oxen, as plural form. Okay? Clear? So this S and ES that we use today for as plural markers have developed from AS of the Anglo-Saxon. Okay? Clear? And if you go back, لو رجعتوا راح تشوفوا انه في اللي مهتم بالادب راح يشوف انه شكسبير استخدم كلمة شون. اللي بعدين تطورت إلى شون، بعدين تطورت إلى shoes today. هذه ال EN is a development of the AN of the Anglo-Saxon. اللي عنده اطلاع أو حاول يقرأ شكسبير بمخطوطة يده كانت مكتوبة بهذا الشكل. Okay? The same as housen، جمع houses. Okay? In the past it was housen. Okay? Here? Great. Children, we know that children is plural of a child, right? In Old English, أنا آسف شوية تأخرت عليكم، بس in Old English كانت تكتب بهالشكل كلمة child، تكتب بهالشكل. لو أخذنا الكورس مع بعضنا البعض الأولد إنجلش رح نمر على هذه الأمور. كانت تكتب بهالشكل. تطورت مع الوقت وصارت تكتب children. Okay? In Middle English صار المفرد children والبلورال صار childer. واليوم in modern English شايفينها على الحال اللي هي عليه children. Okay? Clear? Right. هناك أساسا أيضا بعض الكلمات التي إذا جمعت يعني يمكن جمعها بشكلين مختلفين، لكن it carries different meaning when used in a different form. Like for example, dice and dice. الأولى is a metal stamp. Yeah, is metal. أداة تستخدم في صك أو في صك العملة مثل stamp. Okay, for making money. بتكتب بهالشكل. لكن إذا كتبت بهالشكل هو حجر النرد. تعرفوه؟ Which is a small cube of wood or bone used in games. مثلا. You see? Here. The same as formula. لما تستخدم formulas, then you are talking about forms of words or sentences. صياغات. لكن لما تستخدم formulae بهذا الشكل it means mathematical term. هو مصطلح معادلة. كلمة معادلة في المصطلح الرياضيات. Okay? Here حتى كلمة genius إذا جمعت geniuses بهالشكل، انتبهوا معي، إذا جمعت بهذا الشكل it means people of unusually great powers or mental powers، حتى نكون أدق. mental powers. Okay? لكن لما تجمع بهذا الشكل genie it means good or evil spirits. So you see we have different meanings for different words according to the form they are used in. Clear? Okay? Okay. أنا ما بدي أطيل عليكم أكثر من هيك. So the last 5 minutes for any questions, but I just wanted to talk about this so that you just try to have or to form an idea about how plural markers change with the passage of time. Okay? طيب. Yes, any questions? Abir is asking if I know any other online workshops in translation. This workshop is not in translation, Abir, and I'm not marketing for anybody. I'm doing that free of charge, just in an attempt to help those with ardent interest to continue their knowledge. Okay, so we will stop here. Thank you very much. When would you like to have the next session so that we finish nouns? الآن تبقى عنا في الأسماء ما نزال مستمرين احنا في اختلافات في الجمع. اوكي، ومن ثم سنتحدث عن الجندر، علاقة الجنس مع الأسماء، المذكر والمؤنث والأسماء الحيادية. Okay, and we are going to talk also about case, nominative case, cases of nouns. So I'm not sure if you are able to take it within the few next days before final exams start. Please try to vote on this in the group and get back to me. I have an assignment for this session, but I'm not going to give it to you until we finish it. So thank you very much. I do thank all of you. I noticed that few attendees left since 9:30, and few here has been used purposefully. Thank you very much, and see you next time. If you have any suggestions, queries, please let us know by